White House ordered all federal staff to return to in-office work or resign. On January 28, 2025, President Donald Trump issued an executive order mandating that all federal employees return to in-office work by February 6, 2025. The directive has sparked significant debate, with supporters arguing it will improve government efficiency and opponents warning of disruption and legal challenges. The order gave federal employees the option to resign if they refuse to comply with a buyout package offered to those who voluntarily leave. This move aligned with Trump's long-standing opposition to remote work, which he frequently criticized during his previous presidency. The administration argued that returning to traditional office setting will enhance productivity, accountability, and workplace discipline. White House official has linked the directive to Elon Musk 2025 order requiring Twitter employees to return to in-office work or face termination. Here is the scope and the implementation of the order. The order applies to all federal agencies and departments, including civilian workers at the Department of Defense, the Department of State, and various administrative offices. Agencies have been instructed to enforce the directive strictly, with the White House warning that failure to comply could result in job termination. Employees who refuse to return to the office by February 6 will be considered to have resigned unless they qualified for exemptions, which remain limited and vaguely defined. As a part of the policy, the administration is offering voluntary buyout for those who choose to leave their position rather than return to in-person work. While detail on severance and benefit remain unclear, reports indicate that employees may receive compensations based on tenure and position. Here is the reaction and opposition. The executive order has met with strong resistance from labor unions, Democratic lawmakers, and federal employees. The American Federations of Government Employees, the largest federal workers' union, has condemned the decision, calling it an unrealistic and disruptive mandate. The union argued that remote work policies implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic have proven effective and that forcing employees back into offices could negatively impact productivity, morale, and work-life balance. Legal experts suggest that the mandate may face court challenges, as sudden workplace changes without negotiation with union could violate labor law. Additionally, some lawmakers argued that the order disregards the realistic of modern work environments, particularly in agencies where remote work has been successfully implemented. Here is the potential consequences. The immediate impact of the order could include staffing shortage, disruption in government services, and logistic challenges in re-establishing fully operational office space. Some agencies, particularly those that downsize the physical office spaces in response to remote work trend, may struggle to accommodate returning employees. Critics also warned that the order may lead to a mass exodus of experienced professionals unwilling to comply, which could determine the efficiency of federal operations. Some Democratic leaders have expressed concern that the order is a part of a broader efforts to reshape the federal workplace by pushing out employees who may not align with administration policies. Last but not the least, here is the conclusion. President Trump's order to end remote work for federal employees represent a major shift in the workplace policy, with a significant implication of government operation and a federal workplace. While supporters believe it will restore efficiency and discipline, opponents argue it is an unnecessary and disruptive measure that could lead to staff shortages and legal battles. As the February 6 deadline approaches, the full impact of this directive remains to be seen. Thank you for watching this video.